Hello and welcome to the channel. I thought I was do a quick video on Graham Linehan. I've been spelling his name wrong. Linehan. I think it's probably we'll do a quick video. Let's have a wee look. But I don't really know that much about Graham Linehan. I didn't really get into the Father Ted thing. I did watch Black's books quite well. My friend introduced me to Black's books, so I suppose I enjoy it. I'm not sure if I'm really a total fan of that either, but I do like it, Black's books. So I don't know anything about Father Ted. All I can think about Father Ted is the Mark V Cortina. Am I going to start by doing the end first, the beginning first? Because it's obviously a lot to do with religion, and how that Father Ted, how it relates to us as viewers, and how it relates to how Graham Linehan came up with it. And he's from a Catholic country, which is Ireland, which at that time, it was that bad that they were actually burying babies in Ireland, So there's a lot of things said about the British Empire. Everybody's got their atrocities, and that's one that springs to mind with Ireland and the Spanish Inquisition. I don't want to make this all about sectarianism. And needless to say, I come from the background of the other religion, so I'm not from that Spanish Inquisition side. Okay, so let's have a look. We're just looking at the Guardian here, but there's obviously lots of. So it's briefly sort of setting out how Graham Linehan's gender activism led to career Armageddon. I think this piece is fairly neutral. It doesn't seem to go one way or either or the other, but it's kind of explaining it. Probably if you went to a different paper, it would be more on the side of Linehan or free speech. It depends which way you look at it. So what began as a nasty Twitter spat 7 years ago has led to a peculiar metamorphosis for the comedy writer. So you can go and look at that yourself. Just what's it called? If you keyed in how Graham Linehan's gender activism led to career Armageddon, it'll probably come up. Or I could copy and paste that and put it in the description. Aye, that'd be better. Right. So I'm gonna have to try and make this kind of quick without going into too much detail about everything. This is quite important. This bit. As he was lying in a hospital trolley after surgery to treat testicular cancer in 2018, that Graham Linehan picked up his phone and first definitely waded into the issue of trans rights. Just to check, he's 22nd of May 1968, so he's 57. Right. So he's done his memoir. So he picked up his phone after he's getting his testicles rearranged. Oh God, I didn't get them rearranged with cancer, right? Picked up his phone, first definitely waded into the issue of trans rights. How I made and lost career in comedy and subsequent media interviews. The Irish-born comedian could not remember quite what he wrote in those groggy early tweets, but it nailed my colours to the gender-critical mast. This is a very unusual, it's a very strange story here. It's tragic. He did recall the response of one of his readers, "I wish the cancer had won. My ordeal had begun." Linehan wrote, "Cast adrift, I was about to lose everything, my career, my marriage, my reputation." The explanation as to how Linehan went from a nasty Twitter, now X, spat 7 years ago to career and personal Armageddon lies in a peculiar metamorphosis. Linehan used to be known as a superlative comedy writer. Today the creator of Black Books, the IT Crowd and most popular Father Ted describes himself as a writer about the current all-out assault on women's rights. That's in inverted commas. His goals are put in almost biblical terms to reveal the havoc gender identity had wrought in society, expose who had enabled it, and help bring about its end. To his supporters, Linehan is a brave warrior whose relentless campaigning, online and off, is characterised by some as being ahead of his time. After April's Supreme Court judgment that the terms women, inverted commas, and sex, inverted commas, and in the Equality Act refer only to a biological woman and to biological sex, others see monomania. Monomania, that's a good word. Monomania. Hold on. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what that means, but we'll just look it up anyway. It says, exaggerated or obsessive enthusiasm for or preoccupation with one thing. She has an obsession with the drug that verges on monomania. Monomania, it's not a word I've ever used before. Right, so that's what that means. In his 1838 psychiatric textbook, Esquirrel, 1772-1840, described OCD as a form of monomania, or partial insanity. He fluctuated between attributing OCD to disordered intellect and disordered will. So we can see that. Well, let's carry on reading this. It looks like I'm just going to read the whole thing now, doesn't it? I think we really have to, and then I'll just offer my analysis. Others see monomania and at times cruelty. He has sent hundreds of tweets a day. At times. Fucking hell, what's happening to the light? Often in the early hours. So it's this obsessive thing, tweeting away at night with the phone. In 2021, Linehans set up a fake account on a dating account designed to connect women and queer people in order to publicly expose people of their use of pronouns. Connect women and queer people. Was he trying to get the transgenders out of the lesbian scene? Is that what that is? I'm not sure. Graham Linehan's 16-year marriage to Helen Sarafinowicz ended in 2020. A split he blamed on the pressures of campaigning. You're blaming it on the wrong thing. Let's not get into that, that's too much, but his wife had enough of him and left, right? And that's what they do. Right, so that's one for another video. When, you know, women need competence and they need stability, they need all these things. They don't need to be married to somebody who's mad, right? And that's what I'm reading with this guy, yeah, Graham Linehan. And I never really knew much about him or really cared. I didn't like, as I said already, I wasn't really into Father Ted. And there's so much of it on being shoved at me, and I'm still not really interested in it. I mean, it's on the internet and everything, and people refer to it quite a lot. He was dropped in 2023, but I can see how it obviously affected things and changed things. By his agent after describing the actor David Tennant as an abusive groomer. After the Doctor Who star wore a t-shirt and blames with the words, "Leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks." That this activity has had a huge impact on his career is undoubted. After achievements of the IT crowd for which he won an Emmy, he struggled to find similar levels of success. But it was extracurricular activities that prompted the cancellation of a planned stage musical of Father Ted, the charming sitcom that gently poked fun at the priesthood. Cancellation of a planned stage musical, right? So they cancelled Father Ted, a musical. Linehan had refused requests from his producers to stop his campaigning on trans issues or accept $200,000 for removing his name from the musical project. So they were still going to go ahead with it and remove his name from it. His 16-year marriage to the comedy writer Helen Sarafinowicz ended in 2020. Linehan put the blame on the pressures that came with his campaigning. "I did it for my wife and daughter." Even though we broke up, he said, "I did it for them and I'd do it again." No, you didn't. You didn't do it. You know, you didn't do it for your wife and daughter. He's delusional. You're not doing it for your wife and daughter. It's not doing your wife and daughter any good, is it? You know, he really is delusional, this guy. You're not doing it for your wife and daughter. Writing on his Substack account about his recent arrest over tweets suspected of inciting violence, Linehan said that he'd laughed at first when he saw 5 armed officers. "I couldn't help myself," he wrote.
Don't tell me you've been sent by trans activists. He also shared an audio file of encounter. Well, apparently it's at an airport. They carry weapons. Now, trans activists don't send the police, it's the government, right? So I'm trying to read this without going into everything, but it's the laws from 2004 which has brought this about. So it's the transgender hate, well, the Transgender Recognition Act, the GRA they call it. So all that in the Equality Act. So he's fallen foul of that, and so that's why. Why didn't the police just come and pick him up at his house or something where he lives? I don't know. Sometimes the police do things dramatically. Look at Tommy Robinson. Well, Tommy Robinson's going after this religious group, right? So that's what I do say is you shouldn't really go after. So the police are right on the hate stuff. So there's a big outcry, but these hate crime laws have been around for years. They just don't like it when they get implemented. According to the audio, an officer explained that his name had been put on the police national computer after allegations about his Twitter activity. He had been flagged as wanted when landing at Heathrow, and they were there to arrest him and take him to a police station for questioning. "Holy shit! I cannot fucking believe it," he shouted. "You know what this country looks like from America?" God, yeah. So there's a thing going on. "I'm going to sue you into the ground. I'm going to sue you into the ground." No, you're not. "Fucking bastards, how dare you, I won't fucking calm down." So this guy, he is ill. In fact, if you look at him, he's extremely ill. He's mentally ill. His body doesn't look healthy. I don't know what he's doing with his health. I don't know what he's doing. There's nothing healthy about him. The pictures of him, he doesn't look right. He's overweight. I don't know what his addictive issues are, but he's mentally unwell. So he's picked trans rights for his little thing. It's absolutely. He comes from a Catholic. I was trying to get at in the Spanish Inquisition. He comes from a country that's predominantly, well, it's a Catholic country. Can I say that? Yeah, of course I can. And he's mentally unwell. So the interesting thing is the transgender thing is an obsession, and that for the people that change their gender, they are also obsessional. So he's just joining in on this obsession, and he's being used. I think the guy is willfully ignorant with women. The women's dumped him. J.K. Rowling. Absolutely disastrous what he's done. And it's because as a result of his mental health issues. So I've got to deal with my problems and he's got to deal with his. So he's coming at this. This is Nichola Sturgeon lost her career over this issue. It's one you should avoid. Especially this man who says he's doing it to protect these women and goes, he's not. He's wrong. That's what's wrong with Graham Linehan. He's wrong. You are wrong, Graham. You're not looking at this properly. You haven't. You've just picked. That's why they call it monomania. You've picked one aspect of this, and you've gone with it, and nobody's been able to shift it, and now you've been arrested. Your health. Look at the state of him. I don't think he's going to live much longer. I don't know, but honestly, he's got high blood pressure. He's a stroke. He's overweight. When the interview with Jordan Peterson, him and that twat, that Andrew Doyle. Is it Andrew Doyle? The gay apologist? That's what these men are. They're simps. They're apologists for nasty women. They're getting involved in stuff. All he had to do was keep going with his career and his wife would still be with him. That's the reason his wife left him. Oh, who knows, but women need competence and they need stable men. This is an unstable man. And his wife couldn't hack it, so she left along with the daughter. You're an idiot, Graham Linehan. So, but mentally deranged, yeah. So, yeah. So, we see mental health issues, which is what the trans. Listen, we won't get into that too much, but I've had to suffer in my life, and he's suffering in his life. We're coming at it from a different angle. and he comes from the Spanish Inquisition country, and I don't. I come from Protestant country, and we all suffer from a religious background, and it's different. Both sides are different. The oppression is a different type of oppression. I'd say the Spanish Inquisition side is more oppressive than the other side. So sadly, he's suffering, and it could actually end his life. He needs to let go of the controls, come away from all that crap. And he's not helping women and girls. He needs to realise he's not helping women and girls with the best thing. He's just being used. He's been used by women, been used by J.K. Rowling and all these lot. They're not going to thank you for anything. They're not going to give a flying shite about Graham Linehan. He's just ruined his career, ruined his life. Let go of the controls, Graham. Stop this crap. But obviously you're mentally deranged. So like, I can't stop this crap, right? Because I went so far into it that I can't go and have an operation to reinstate my genitalia, and I can't, all these things. So I've went and crossed that line. So I've got to live with it. So you, Graham, you could get away from this. Get away from this stupid topic, because it's ruining your life. It's a stupid thing to do. You're wrong. You need to be told you're wrong. You probably have been told many times that you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're taking one extreme type of humanity over another, and that's why it's called monomania. And you're actually supporting gender critical feminists who are equally dangerous for the future of Western civilization as trans activists are. It's all, you're just picking one nasty bunch over another. That's all you're doing. So you need to let go of the controls, try and lead a fruitful life, and stop the fucking about with phones early in the morning, tweeting. People should be banned off X. His doctor should ban him off X, right? So I think, well, I can maybe add to this later, but I think that's all I've got to say about it now. So Graham Linehan, you're a complete fool. You need to get away from this. I've already said that. You're not helping anyone. You're not helping anyone at all, let alone women and girls. You're just not helping them. So thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll get you in the next one. Bye.